Hey everybody, this is Helfinator, and welcome to my 200th subscriber special. I know, it's been a while since I've told you guys of this that I've had this thing. I've been trying to get this thing together, and I've had a lot of ideas for what to put into my subscriber special. But I basically came up with this idea that how about I put all my ideas together, right? Okay, so before we jump into this, just a couple updates. I'm sorry for not uploading anything on Saturday. It's just that on Saturday I came home and I didn't bring my external hard drive with me, so all my videos are on my external hard drive, so I didn't have any access to those. So, sorry. Also on Monday, or not Monday, I'm sorry, Tuesday. On Tuesday, you might not see a Mario video. Instead, you might see a Banjo-Kazooie episode, just because I haven't gotten around to recording a new Mario video yet. Sorry. So yes, and last thing is that my next subscriber special will be at 500 subscribers. So I kind of thought about this, and I'm like, I don't want to do this every 100 subscribers. So I kind of think it's gonna go. Well, it went 100 and now 200. And I think it's gonna go for 500, 1,000, and then every 500 interval we go to, if ever I get up that high. Hopefully. But anyway, really quickly, I might sound a little bit different, and that's because I accidentally broke my Turtle Beach headset. So right now I'm using this Logitech standalone microphone that I've never used before. So I hope it sounds pretty good. Hopefully I can get a new Turtle Beach headset, because man, that thing kicked ass. However, it was just that I accidentally pulled too hard on one of the ears. It was my own stupidity, and just short, it's my own stupidity. Anyway, back to what I was talking about all the way at the beginning of this episode, about how I took all of my ideas for subscriber specials and put them all together. My first idea was to play Super Ghouls and Ghosts, or is it Ghosts and Goblins? Not too sure. Anyway, they're the same. They're the same. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, since Arthur's my avatar, it'd be an awesome idea to play his game, right? So that was my first idea, and as you can see, I'm doing it right now. Let's see here. My next idea was to tell you guys my top 5 games of all time, and then put that into this kind of video, which I will get to. Also, I'll touch on how I used to. I know I've gotten a couple questions of how I used to record my videos back when I was using the old camcorder. And look, I already got a game over. Woo! Yeah. Let's see here. I've also gotten the question why I ever chose Arthur to be my avatar. I'll get into those as time passes. However, a couple people asked me to TM Sonic told me that it'd be a really awesome idea to play Super Ghouls and Ghosts to see how far I could get. Since Arthur's my avatar, you know what? That was a very good idea. Thank you, my good sir. So you know what? I guess you could say that this is me showing off my awesome skills at this game, or lack thereof. So I hope you all enjoy my shitty game. See, I'm gonna get tag team right here. Yeah, I'm gonna see fireball up the ass. Bam, done. Anyway, oh yes, just as I did with my last subscriber special, I would like to give a shout out to my 200th subscriber, who is Yoshi's Hide. He's the same guy who did my background, So give him a check. So check him out. I've actually haven't looked at his YouTube page recently, so I don't know what he's doing right now. But let's see here. He does YouTube backgrounds. So if you are looking for someone to do a YouTube background for you, I'm sure he will oblige. However, he might be getting a lot of requests right now since he did Odin's background and same as TM Sonic's background and my background, as well as many others. So he might be getting swamped with a lot of requests, but you know, it just won't hurt to ask. All right, so let's get into my first idea of what to talk about. How I used to record my videos. Okay, back in the day when I used my camcorder, which was actually it was a Coolpix, or was it? It was a Coolpix. It was a Nikon Coolpix that had the video functionality. So that was what I was recording my videos with. And originally, if you check all the way back to like my first few videos, you have like me playing Super Smash Brothers Brawl with one of my friends, and you would see that big black bar that was going up the screen. Well, that was actually my test to see if I could actually like record any like YouTube Let's Play videos. So since I saw that I technically could, but I had that big black bar, at that moment in time I just figured, you know, all the N64 games or whatever games that I wanted to do at that moment in time were out of the question because of the big black bar being, I mean, no one would ever watch that. That'd be terrible to watch. So I figured that, you know what, I looked over at my desktop computer. I'm like, huh, I wonder if that could work. So I sat down, popped in one of the games that I had for my computer, which was just happened to be Croc and Croc 2, and I saw that it actually worked. So I said, you know what, I'm doing a Let's Play of Croc 2. So unfortunately, if you watch that old Let's Play, you'll see that sometimes like the screen looks pretty good, but then other times it might seem washed out. But that's because my desktop was actually sitting right next to my desktop's in a sunroom. Of course, terrible placing for a computer in a house, right? But it was sitting right next to a window. So whenever I started recording, it just depend on whether a cloud passed in front of the sun or not to make it look good. So that was that. But also when I towards the end of Croc, I decided to start looking around on the desktop to see if I could actually plug in my Nintendo 64 to do Bomberman 64. So I was looking around, and in the back of the screen, I saw that I had a video composite cable hookup. So I said, you know what, that's a great idea. You know what, I'm going to plug in my Nintendo right there. And then I was looking around on the computer, and I couldn't get the sound to come through. So I'm like, this is really bad. You know what, this is bad. How am I going to figure this out? So I went downstairs, and I went into this corner of my basement, and I found this old karaoke machine of my sister's. And I'm like, you know what, I wonder if that'll work. And so I looked in the back, and it had video, not only video, but also audio inputs, or composite inputs. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this will work. So I brought the karaoke machine up, set it right next to my desktop, plugged in the sound, turned it on. You had a few little crackles and fuzzes, and then all of a sudden the audio worked perfectly. I'm like, holy shit, this works. So you have me sitting in front of my desktop with a camera stacked on multiple books to get like the best positioning, and then I had my Nintendo hooked into the monitor of the computer and hooked into a karaoke machine to get the sound. And here's little old me sitting in front of all this shit trying to get it all to work. That's honestly like the most work I've ever had to put in. Honestly, it's like for Bomberman, and for the first few episodes of Donkey Kong 64, and my Banjo-Kazooie episodes before I deleted them. Those are honestly the first. Those are like the hardest. Those were like the hardest projects that I've ever had to get together because of all the logistics that went into it. Next, why I chose Arthur. Now I was watching. It was back when before I even joined YouTube. I was watching Screw Attack's Top 10, and they were saying like top 10 most manliest beards, and up high on their list was Arthur. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, he's badass. His game I can't beat. So you know what? I want to have him as my avatar, and it just stuck. Let's see. Top 5 games. Top 5 games of all time. Alright, let's start at the honorable mentions. My first honorable mention goes to Super Mario Land for the Game Boy. Now, I love that game. I love that game as a kid. I grew up playing it, and you know, it's like the same reason why like I love Super Mario Land. But it's like the same thing with Odin loving Super Mario Land 2. Like, I never grew up with that, but he did. So it's like that nostalgia, that just little bit of nostalgia that just hits home. I just love that game. And unfortunately, I lost it a couple of years ago, and I just couldn't find it ever since. So thankfully, I found an emulator so I could play it. But it's just like one of those games that holds like so many memories for me. Next is Final Fantasy IV. Now, I love Final Fantasy IV. It's honestly my most favorite Final Fantasy game ever. Though Final Fantasy IV, the After Years, I couldn't really get into because I don't know, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get into it. But let's see here, Final Fantasy IV. Now, if you watch the latest Bottoms Up podcast, Odin and Blue were talking about Final Fantasy IV and being like really short and like being like 30 hours or something. I disagree because I didn't use a guide at all. I didn't use a guide. I leveled up to as high a level as I could get, which was 99 in that game, and did all the side stuff and secret stuff for the Game Boy version. And I put over 90 hours into that game. I put so much time into that game, you would not believe. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how. Number 5, Custom Robo. Now, this is actually the... Let's see here. Oh yeah, I just now realized that. Each game that I have on here is only represents one system. Fantastic. Custom Robo. I got this game at Sears. It was in like a bargain bin, and I looked at the cover and like, you know what? This game is pretty damn awesome. So I played it, and it was kind of like it had like an RPG story to it. And I'm a person who likes mechs and likes robots, so I started playing it, and I'm like, holy shit, I love this game. This game's awesome. So like, I just couldn't put it down during the GameCube era. And you know what? That's honestly my most favorite game for the GameCube. Let's see here. Number 4. Number 4. Cameo. Elements of Power. Now, this game was the launch title for the Xbox 360, and I absolutely love this game. Now, like, before I bought it for $5, when the Xbox 360 first came out, whenever my parents would go to Circuit City, they'd bring me along. I would literally run, I would walk to the kiosk that they were showing off the Xbox 360, and I would literally sit there and play the intro level over and over and over and beat it. No, I couldn't get enough of this game. For whatever reason, I couldn't. Number 3, Bomberman 64. It's honestly the first Bomberman game that I've ever played, and I honestly love that game. I couldn't get enough of its puzzles and things like that, and it's like I just couldn't get enough of it. Um, but you know what? If you guys want to really know how I feel, watch my Let's Play. Hell yeah. Yeah. Selfless plug. Shameless plug. But anyway, next up, number 2, Super Mario Galaxy. That was the first. It wasn't the first game that I had for the Wii, but it was. It was no. It was the first. It was the first game that I ever had for the Wii, because my parents bought it before they actually bought me the Wii. Hell yeah! I'll talk about that later, in some other video. But anyway, I don't know. It was like one of those games that I've never really like gotten a game, sat down, and just played it, and then played it, and then couldn't put it down. But it was just one of those games that I couldn't. I couldn't put it down, and then I had really high hopes for the second one, and they honestly fell short for me. I honestly felt that the the second game wasn't as great as the first. So sue me, crucify me, do whatever you want, but Super Mario Galaxy 1 is better than Super Mario Galaxy 2, in my opinion. And my number one favorite, Secret of Mana. Secret of Mana, oh man. The first time I ever played this game was on I got it for the Virtual Console, and it was just as a whim. I saw like a review of it, and I was like, you know what, that looks pretty fun. Let me play it. And I have played and beaten it 10 times now? 10 times. I've played it and beaten it 10 times. I've played it with friends. I've played it with. I've played it by myself. I've played it with friends. I've actually never beat it with by playing with friends. I should probably do that one of these times, because the game really does shine when you're playing with multiple people, especially 3. Like if you play with 3 people, I'm like, oh my god, it's amazing. But at least with one other person, it's pretty good. So Secret of Mana is my number one game. It's my most favorite game. It's my most. It's the game that I've played the most, honestly, all the way to the end. I've played it the most. So that was my list, and I would like to thank you all for watching this 200 subscriber special. And unfortunately, I I didn't record enough. I didn't record enough video for for this. Oh well, sorry about that. Anyway, at least you guys got to see me suck, absolutely suck, at Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Wow, I finally remembered its name. Oh yeah. So yeah, and I would really like to thank you all for watching this 200 subscriber special. Thank you all for subscribing. You all are awesome. Thank you very much. And you guys are really the reason why I even do this in the first place. So I'd like to thank you all, honestly and sincerely. Thank you all, and goodbye.